Hello, everyone, and welcome back to episode 4 of my video diary series. This one is a bit different because I haven't actually written any notes in my journal for this about things that I want to talk about, and I'm not prepared like I usually am, but I kind of just felt called to talk about this, if you know what I mean. Sometimes you just have this feeling that you need to do something, and so that's why I turned on my camera pretty abruptly. I've been reflecting a lot over the past few days about the place that I am in life because things have been feeling pretty stagnant for me, and things are very slow, and nothing's really happening in this period of my life right now. And as I was feeling this way, I was like doom scrolling on Insta as I tend to do, which is probably not healthy at all, but it is what it is. But that is when I learned about this term called liminal space. And it is literally that in between phase of your life where things are kind of stagnant, slow, uncertain. Maybe you feel a bit of an anxiety because you're not sure about what's going to happen next, or that you should feel like you should be doing more. But basically, this is what liminal space is. And I feel like it's that phase in your life before you're about to go through some kind of change, some big change, or it's that gap between your old self and this newer version of yourself that you're trying to become and that you're striving to achieve. And as I've been thinking about it, I actually feel like every time I was about to maybe level up or do something new or start something big, gain the next step in my journey, I went through some version of this gap or this in between time. And what that made me realize is I feel like it's actually really necessary to go through this. That you may have heard of this phrase that rest is strategic. And I truly have come to understand during this phase of my life how true that is and what it actually means. Because I feel like a lot of times there's a lot of fear because we live in such a hustle culture or a society that's like, go, go, go. You need to take steps if you want to become the best version of yourself, or if you want to manifest your dreams, you need to take action. And while that is certainly true, I also think it can be really toxic and hurtful if you're always in that state of go, 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 because it kind of activates your nervous system and causes a lot of anxiety and stress, and that's what creates that traumatic response. Sometimes that can be overwhelming and clouds you from making strategic decisions that are actually important in this cycle of your life, or this cycle that happens before you level up to your higher self or your next version of yourself. And that's why I think rest is strategic, because it also gives your system time to relax and slow down and make decisions. And this is important, make decisions from a place of alignment and a place of knowing and intuition rather than a place of fear. And what I mean is that a lot of times people tend to feel forced to go a certain way or make a certain decision in their life that has big impacts down the line, which actually hurts them, but they don't realize it. They feel like they have to catch up to make believe goalposts that are set for them because they compare themselves to others, or because they're listening to people who are speaking from a place of fear or a place of what worked for them and not necessarily what's going to work for you. That's why this rest and this living in this in between is so important. And if you guys are going through something similar right now, I want you to embrace it. I want you to really lean in and relax and let your brain and your mind wander free, because actually, this is the time that your creative juices start to flow. Even when you may not be realizing it, your subconscious feels and understands the decisions that you make. And so, if you operate from a place of anxiety and a place of, oh, I need to be doing something more, your subconscious self will be making decisions off that fear. And you don't want that. You need to be making decisions that align with what truly matters to you and not to anyone else, and not to what your mind may be telling you you should be doing because you are operating from a place of fear. So, if I were you and if you're dealing with this situation, and if you're still feeling a bit unsure about all of this, if you're still kind of doubting that this is the right thing to do because you've never been told that rest is a good decision and you feel like it's a waste of time, I just want you to tell yourself that this is the next step to greatness. This is the next step in the overall plan that the universe has for you, and that the overall plan that you have for yourself that you may not even realize. Rest and living in a state of calm is going to help you gather yourself for what's to come. And you don't want to head into this next version of your life feeling stressed out or anxious, because then you won't be able to handle whatever's going to come to you. You need to operate from a place of peace and trust and knowing that whatever is meant for you will come to you, and that you're more than capable of handling success and fully stepping into your power. So for me, this has looked a lot like looking inward, reflecting on myself and my goals and what I truly want, whether it's my next step in my career or creative idea or pursuit that I have. And living in this liminal space has actually led me to start this channel, which may kind of be like in the ether of YouTube, but regardless of whether people watch my videos or not, being confident in my decision has actually led me to detach myself from the outcome and rather think about the action of what I'm doing and how it's going to benefit me. I truly feel like putting myself out there has given me so much confidence and just felt so right in my gut that this is what I needed to do and that I am capable of achieving whatever I want. It's kind of changed the way my brain works in the sense that I don't care what other people think about what I'm going to do because I'm operating from a place of what feels right and what feels true to my soul. I've been thinking a lot more, I've been reading a lot more, I've been approaching my relationships more intentionally. I've analyzed what I feel like I've been doing wrong or what I could be doing more for my friendships or any relationships in my life. And I'm able to be more of my authentic self instead of putting on a facade of what I feel like people want from me. And I've also been able to shed people pleasing tendencies because it's something I realized I used to do. And I've only been able to learn all this through the reflection during this period. And that's why it's so important. I heard someone say this online, but it's kind of like a caterpillar who has to stay in their cocoon for a while before they're able to become a butterfly. And that is the same thing for humans. We need to live in this liminal space of pause before we're able to become our newest version of ourselves. And if you feel like maybe you're someone who tends to stay in this period of unknown for longer than others, it could also be because you're guiding yourself from a place of intuition. Like I mentioned earlier, it's so important to make decisions from a place of alignment, and someone who realizes this sooner might be having a longer period of liminal space because they're really slowing down and learning to listen to their intuition and to what makes the best sense for them rather than listening to any outside noise. So I wouldn't worry at all if I were you. Take advantage of this time. At the time of filming this, Christmas literally just happened a day ago, so this is the holiday season for everyone, and winter season, which already tends to feel slow. So if you're also going through a period of liminal space during this season like I am, trust in that, and that in the new year, this will lead to something bigger and better. It's also a very powerful time to kind of manifest, create a vision board if that is something you feel so inclined to do, and really envision the future and the life that you know you're going to have, not just, and the wording is really important here, it's not just what you want, but a version of yourself that you know you already have, you're just going to meet it. So, yeah, take this time to honor yourself, spend time with loved ones, relax, rejuvenate, do some self care, whatever it is that you need to do to kind of have some self reflection and look inward before the new year. So, yeah, I'm wishing you all a lot of love and light. I hope this new year brings a lot of blessings for you. Or if you're watching this in 2026 and it's already the new year, I know that you're on the way to a better version of yourself. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.